What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at the fire signs. Now, I had filmed this, I had it all ready to go, and apparently the file got deleted. So here we are again. And it's a good thing I didn't close down the sites that I used for this, so I can quickly just go back and redo the video as it was. So let's get into it. Alright, so the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and obviously each of those has a different modality. That's how that works. Modalities are essentially another way of classifying the signs, and they also tell where that particular sign comes within any given season. Obviously, not all 4 elements are going to be able to fit in within a 3-month season. So the first season, we start the seasons with the astrological new year starting in Aries, which we are in now, have been since the 21st. If we start it from there, cardinal is the first sign, then fixed, then mutable, and the first season does not have water in it. So yeah, getting messages from people, go away, I'm busy. Alright, so to start off with, let's just have a look at fire in general, then we'll jump in a little bit more in depth with each sign in particular. Pop-ups, we hate them, go away. Alright, so as I just said, the element of fire is associated with the signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It also rules the 1st, 5th, and 9th houses, which honestly stands to reason because those are the numbers of those signs positioned within the zodiac. Obviously, with the cycle being fire, earth, air, water, water's going to have every multiple of 4. Earth's going to have every other multiple of 2. So 1, then 4 plus 1 is 5, 8 plus 1 is 9. 12 plus 1 is 13, which just brings you back to the beginning of the cycle. So Aries lives in the house of self. It generally sort of rules over your physical appearance, your physical traits, your physical characteristics, your resourcefulness, your outlook and your impressions of things, so sort of your perspective of the world and how you interpret things. It rules your ego. It also rules beginnings and initiatives. The 5th house is the house of pleasure, and it's Leo's house. Recreational and leisure activities is one of the things it rules, as well as things which make for enjoyment and entertainment. So film, music, sports, games, those sorts of things all fit in there. Gambling, risks as well. So more extreme sports, and like rock climbing, snowboarding, that sort of a thing. Surfing, anything with a high risk factor comes into there as well. Romance and limerence comes into that as well. Children and fertility and creative self-expression is the other thing there. And then the last one is the house of purpose, which is Sagittarius's house. It rules over travel and foreign affairs, culture, expansion, law, ethics, education, so learning, knowledge, that sort of thing, philosophical interests, belief systems. It rules over experience through exploration, which obviously helps it fit in with that risk-taking part of Leo's house, as well as anything long-term. So yeah, those are those houses. Now, as one would expect, those graced by fire are indeed themselves quite fiery, quite hot-headed. They are enthusiastic and sometimes can be larger than life. There's that ego popping up again. Just like a fire that's left untended, however, fire signs can burn out of control, so it's best to tend to those embers. This does mean that they can potentially have, or are, at least as far as the zodiac is concerned, more likely to have self-destructive tendencies, because obviously fire is going to burn until there's nothing left to burn, which means that there can no longer be fire. Fire can burn itself out, so it can self-destructive. A fire sign, however, is also an indicator of creativity. It's not such a bad sign to have. My ascendant's is Sagittarius, so I feed into a lot of this as well. The element manifests itself in creative and unique ways, and those in its glow are wonderfully courageous and lively spirits. Those influenced by a fire sign are self-sufficient, spontaneous, and possess a tremendous zest for life. It also stands to reason that a combustible fire signer would be ardent in the game of love. They are sometimes considered to be the sexiest signs of the zodiac. However, knowing that they are, and we're using some old language here, and this is a quote from my side as well, knowing that they are the cat's meow and climbing ever higher in the name of love. To their credit, those touched by fire are often an inspiration to others, certainly for their adherence to solid moral and religious ideals. So if you want someone in your corner on a political matter, find yourself a fire sign that agrees with you. They're gonna ride or die after that. If there is a flip side to the element of fire, it can be that those who bear it can be overly strident in getting their way, a little bit forceful, maybe even be able to call them bossy. These folks can come across rather forcefully. They can also be quite selfish and have an overdeveloped ego. And that can all be part of their dark side. But in total, they are strong, self-assured, creative, and fun. When they get too hot to touch, though, it may be a good idea to stand back. Fire also being sort of the element of passions and ambitions and stuff. This is the element that if something's blocking that path, you can expect it to be explosive. I will do a full video on the different modalities and talk about how each element represents that particular modality for that sign. For now, let's dig a little deeper into the signs themselves. So, Aries, you ram-headed fools, are the cardinal fire sign, meaning that you will take charge. If something is in your way, you will just plow straight through it. You'll put your head down, horns in front of you, and you'll just charge at it. If you're not an Aries, but you've ever known an Aries, chances are they charmed you with their powerful words and then they left you in the dust. They tend to use their hot-headedness to assert their views, then they move on. They out. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so they are also sometimes, more often than not, considered to be the zodiac's leaders, the fire's sparks. And as we looked before, strong moral and religious views, they just get an idea in their head, go off with it. They're sort of led by those passions, those ambitions. So all in all, Aries should take on sort of a political track. If there is something, if there's one thing in particular that they feel strongly about, chances are that they're gonna be right in the thick of that thing. If they care across the board, then maybe a career in politics is something that they're pursuing, maybe. The next one is Leo, which is the end of July first sort of 3 weeks of August. The fearless lion, our fixed fire sign, meaning that they can be a little bit stubborn. I mean, have you ever seen a lion do something it didn't want to do? I remember there was one time I was at the zoo and I was at the lion enclosure when it was like feeding time or something, and the lion was just chilling there. I was like, nah, I don't want to come down off this rock, I'm happy here. So you can't make a lion do something he doesn't want to do, but that strong little energy makes Leos fiercely loyal friends, and someone you definitely therefore don't want to cross. Don't hurt their friend, because they will eat you for lunch. Leo remains unwavering in their beliefs no matter what happens. They never second guess themselves, and they're known to be, as a lion should be, proud, and sometimes a little bit selfish. But you can be sure that if they're also following those strong moral and religious views that we mentioned before, theirs is going to be the loudest voice in that crowd, because they've got the lion's roar inside them. And last but not least is Sagittarius, the archer, most often depicted as a centaur. They are the immutable sign, meaning they are flexible. Something comes their way, they're able to just sort of swerve on it and get right back on track. And much like a centaur, they are sort of the zodiac's philosophers. I'm sure anyone that's read Harry Potter knows that if there's one thing centaurs love more than anything else, it's astrology and stargazing. But Sagittarians will use their passionate energy to power their quest for truth. As the protector of the galaxy, one might even say the guardian of the galaxy, haha, Marvel joke. The archer, another superhero there with Hawkeye, but anyway. The archer is a fearless spiritual fighter who never minces words. However, they do have a habit of putting their foot in their mouth, and they have 4 of them, so plenty of opportunities to do that. That being the case though, this does mean that they adopt a live and let live attitude to get them out of trouble. So if they mess up, you know, yep, it happened, nothing we can do about it now, let's move on and try to be better, is sort of how they would go, and right there shows you exactly how that very flexible of getting out of their getting out of difficult situations. But yeah, that's all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are new here, and please ring that notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. I will leave the links to both the sites that I use in the description down below, and comment below if you are a fire sign or if there is a fire sign in your major 3. And let me know how whatever I've said about that particular sign and the fire element in general fits you in that regard. I would love to have a conversation with you about it down below. So yeah, until next time guys, keep your heads screwed on.